So now we are going to check the break and continue statements in JavaScript. So guys, basically the break statement jumps out of a particular loop. So previously we had seen how we can use the while loop in order to iterate through a certain block of code continuously until the condition is false. So guys, similarly we can use the while loop once again and then check for a particular condition, and if that condition is true, then simply we can come out of the while loop, and that is how we are going to use the break statement. And then guys, on the opposite side we also have the continue statement, in which case the control flow will jump over one iteration in the loop, which means the current iteration will be skipped. So guys, we will check both, that is break and continue statement, with the help of examples in VS Code over here. These statements can be used in while and for loops to either go out of the loop or skip an iteration. So guys, we will check the examples with the while loop over here. In the upcoming videos we are also going to understand how for loops work. So guys, let us move to the VS Code over here. So simply we will create a new file over here. We will name it as 22 followed by underscore, and then we will say break and continue followed by the extension that is .js file over here. So guys, basically we have created this particular file, that is break and continue.js. So what we will do is, let us say we want to print the first 10 numbers, that is going from 1 up to 10 over here. So simply we will create a variable, that is I in this case, that is going to have the initial value as 1 over here. And then what we will do is, let us say we want to use the while loop. In this case we will check whether I is it less than or equal to 10 this time, so that we can print all the numbers, that is 1 up to 10. So guys, simply we will provide the console.log statement over here, and then we will say the value of I is, and then followed by dollar, and then we have open and close curly braces over here, and then inside that we have the variable, that is I in this case. Now guys, in order to increase the value of the I variable, simply we are going to use the increment operator, that is I++. Let me just save this file now and try running this code on the terminal. We will use the node keyword followed by the name of the file, that is break and continue.js. So when we run this code, as you can see, we have the statements that are getting printed over here. The value of I is 1, and then followed by 2, and then so on. We have 3, 4 up to 10 in this case. So guys, in this way we can simply use the while loop in order to print the numbers from 1 to 10 instead of manually providing those numbers from 1 to 10 in this case. Now guys, what is the importance of break and continue statements over here? So let us say we want to end this particular printing when we encounter the value of I is equal to 5 in this case. So guys, basically we want to tell the interpreter that once the value of I is 5, it should come out of the loop after printing that particular value. So let's say the value of I is 5 is printed over here. So after this particular statement we need to check whether the value of I is 5. So simply we will say if, and then inside the parenthesis we have I is it equal to 5 over here. So guys, basically we are checking for the condition whether this I value is equal to 5. If it is true, then we want to come out of this particular while loop instead of printing the other numbers, that is 6 up to 10 that were printed previously. So what we will do is, if this condition is satisfied, we simply have to provide the break statement over here. So break is another keyword that is reserved by JavaScript language in order to come out of the existing loop. So guys, this particular break statement will check that it is inside this particular while loop over here, and the control flow needs to come out of this particular while loop once this break statement is encountered. So if we check now, only the I value is equal to 5 will be printed from 1 up to 5 over here, and the other numbers, that is 6 to 10, will not be printed in this case, since the interpreter comes out of the while loop. And after coming out of the while loop, simply we are going to provide another statement, that is end of while loop over here, so that we get the confirmation that we are actually outside the while loop in this case. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. And when we press enter, as you can see, the value of I is 1, and then followed by the value of I is 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and then after the number, that is 5 over here, we have the end of while loop in this case, because once the value of I was 5, the break statement helped us in order to come out of the while loop in this case. So guys, in this way you can simply use the break statement in order to break the particular loop that is getting executed right now. Now guys, apart from this, we also have something called as continue statement, in which case what will happen is the control flow will go back to the while loop once again and not execute the remaining lines of code after the continue statement. So let us check that as well. Simply I am going to comment out these lines of code over here, and what we will do is, let us say at the value of 5 we don't want want to print that particular statement, that is the value of I is 5, but after the value of I is 4, we want to directly print the value of I is 6 over here. So what we have to do is, again we need to check for the same condition this time, but over here we are going to use the continue statement. So simply inside the while loop, we will check whether the value of I is it equal to 5 this time. If yes, then simply we will provide the continue statement. So guys, what this continue statement will do is, when the control flow comes over here and it realizes that the I's value is 5 in this case, so that this particular expression is true, it will encounter this continue statement. And whenever this continue statement is present, it will make the interpreter go back at the start of the loop over here. So what will happen is, the interpreter will go back once again over here, I is less than or equal to 10, yes this time, and then it will again check for the condition. So every time the interpreter enters the while loop, it is going to check whether the condition of I is equal to 5 is true or not. If it is true, then it will go back over here, and if it is not true, then only it will execute the remaining lines of code after the continue statement. Guys, it is very important to note that while we are providing the continue statement over here, it is not increasing the value of I in this case. So simply before providing the continue keyword within this particular if statement, we need to increment the value of I by using the increment operator in this case, so that the value of I can be increased next time, and next time when the interpreter comes over here, the I's value will be 6, and this time the expression should be false, so that the remaining lines of code should be executed. So basically when the I value is 5 over here, it is going to increment the I value, so the value will be 6 now, and then this particular continue statement will make the interpreter go back to this while loop once again, and this time the I value is 6, and this particular condition will be false inside the if statement, and then we will have the value of I as 6 after the value of I is 4. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So now if you see, first of all we will get the value of I from 1 and then up to 4 over here. So you can see I is 1 followed by 2, 3, 4, and then we don't have 5. That's because we have used the continue statement after encountering the value of I is equal to 5. So the value of I is equal to 5 will be skipped this time, and then followed by I is 6, then followed by 7, 8, 9, and then 10. Guys, you can skip the other numbers as well. So let's say you want to skip the number 8 as well right now. So currently you are printing the value of 8, but you can put the other statement, that is I is equal to 5 or I is equal to 8. So in both the cases, the continue statement will be executed and those numbers will not be printed. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, the value of I is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we don't have 5, we directly have 6, and then followed by 7, and then we don't have 8, we have 9, and then followed by 10, and then at the end we have the end of while loop, that is outside of the while loop that we had provided previously. So guys, in this way you can easily use the break and the continue statements in order to either come out of the existing while or the for loop, or else you can continue to the start of the while or for loop if you are using the continue statement. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video in which we are going to talk about arrays in JavaScript. So stay tuned.